Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite animes, and today I'm going to be doing an anime review on Pluto, or Pluto. So, Pluto is a new anime licensed by Netflix. It is based off of a manga written by Urasawa Naoki and animated under Studio M2. And wouldn't you know, Pluto is actually a spin off of the legendary series Astro Boy. Quite frankly, the most influential anime of all times. Astro Boy is the anime that precedes all animes. Astro Boy is the OG anime, which is written and illustrated by Tezuka Osamu. And Astro Boy itself already has 3 anime adaptations in the year 1963, in the year 1980, and then once again in the year 2003. But then we have Pluto, which is a manga released from 2003 all the way till 2009, and it is a spin off adaptation. Essentially, Urasawa Naoki, who, by the way, is also one of the most revered manga artists of all times. If you haven't heard of Urasawa Naoki, may I jog your memory a little bit. Maybe you have heard of the anime or manga Monster. That is also written by Urasawa Naoki. Now, I haven't seen Monster because it's like 70 something episodes long, and I don't have that sort of commitment for time for Monster yet, but I mean, at this point, we all know that Urasawa Naoki is basically the king of mystery, the king of mystery animes. And for him to take a story arc in Astro Boy, which is called The Greatest Robot in the World, and turn it into a gritty, dark, emotional, complex, and very intelligent murder mystery is just recipe for amazingness. So obviously going into Pluto, I was really excited. And another thing is Pluto is only 8 episodes long. I thought I would be able to binge watch it in 2 days and immediately finish it. Turns out one episode is 1 hour long, which is about 3 anime episodes long. So in normal anime episode lengths, 8 hours is actually about 24 episodes. So Pluto is actually about 20 is about 8 hours, so it's actually like 24 anime episodes. And then on top of that, we don't have OPs and EDs. The OP is basically a few seconds long, and it's like manga panels flashing in front of your eyes, and then you see the giant title Pluto. And I thought that there is not a single other possible OPs more fitting than this one. There's just something about this OP that's like, first of all, it's like Marvel, it's like the Marvel logo, but also it's to hide what is going to happen. You know how a lot of OPs basically tease sort of what's going to happen, but this opening title sequence basically hides what's going to happen and only shows you snippets of manga panels to give you an idea of what may happen, but it's not going to tease you or anything. It's straight to the point, and that is perfect for Pluto. This anime also doesn't have an ED. It just rolls. End credits just rolls. Text, white text on a black background, it just rolls. And every time, well, at least the first 6 episodes have the same ending theme, or the first 5 episodes. So it's very interesting. This is very much treated like a limited series, like a limited TV show. It's not treated like an anime at all, but that makes Pluto feel even more real and feel even more gritty, because this is not some fun animation anymore. This is like a real TV show, which is, by the way, false. Like, an anime can be way more cerebral and way more intricate and crazy and complex than a TV show, and it happens all the time. But Pluto is just treated with such respect that it just feels like a for real live action TV show, and that's really cool. So anyways, Pluto is so originally in Astro Boy, we have Pluto, who is an evil robot with horns, and he wants to kill all 7 of the greatest robots in the world so that he himself can be the greatest. But of course, Astro Boy, aka Adam, shows up and defeats him. And in Pluto, this Pluto robot is now sort of like a secret mass murderer, a serial killer who's not only killing robots but also killing people, killing powerful people, scientists, politicians, and it's basically a murder mystery. And the main character is not Adam. The main character is a robot detective by the name of Gesicht, who is also one of the 7 greatest robots there are in the world. And the other 6 greatest robots is, of course, Adam himself, the titular character of Astro Boy, not Pluto. And then we have Mont Blanc from Switzerland, North Number 2, who's from Scotland. We have Epsilon, who I believe is American, and we have Brando, and we have Hercules, and these are the 7 greatest robots ever, and plus a bunch of other scientists and politicians that are also on the kill list. So this is very much Gesicht slowly but surely diving deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole of serial killings, and that's pretty much it. Now, it's important to note that this TV show, or this anime, is rather slow paced. It is not like a fast paced show or anything. And I actually didn't expect that. For some reason, I thought this is going to be a legit murder mystery, and it's going to be full of twists and turns. It's going to be very action packed. But actually, no, it takes a lot of time doing world building and building characters. There are sequences in this anime that last really long, like that lasts half an episode long, and it's really slow. And this show doesn't go for immediate satisfaction, and that's something that I consider a compliment, because it's not just about entertaining shit. You know, I went into this anime thinking that I'm gonna get the fun, crazy twists and turns murder mystery, but I stayed for the more deep human themes of AI, the future, the politics, and the themes of AI hit even harder now that we are in 2023, when AI is getting more and more powerful. And earlier, I think a couple years ago, I saw the anime Vivi, Song of the Fluorite Eye, and I believe in my review I said that I wish Vivi would explore more in terms of the AI laws and how humans and robots coexist, and how complicated it is for robots to feel emotions and feel consciousness and understand what soul is. It can go really, really deep. Well, guess what? Pluto did that. Vivi didn't do that. Pluto did that. And it is incredible. And given the slow pacing and the dark themes and the serial murders, this show also feels like True Detective. It's like, finally, this is the closest thing we can get to an anime adaptation of True Detective Season 1. It is brooding. Now, episode 1 is a fantastic pilot episode, and what's very interesting about episode 1 is that the entire second half of episode 1 focuses on one robot by the name of North Number 2, who enters the mansion of Paul Duncan, a renowned musical composer. And Paul Duncan hates robots and believes that robots don't understand art, but North Number 2 tries so hard to play the piano and practice the piano because he doesn't want to fight anymore. He's a war robot, but he doesn't want to fight. And that is very strange. It's like the robot's malfunctioning, because the robot is coded, it's programmed to fight, but suddenly it automatically developed an affection for music and wanting peace and wanting art. And this entire sequence, while it's really slow paced, it perfectly illustrates a robot developing a will of his own, wanting peace, that there is a greater level of consciousness than what it is programmed, and it is a beautiful story with a devastating ending. And this part itself could be a short film itself, and I'm really shocked, because usually pilot episodes don't randomly detour into something. without any of the main characters, but Pluto does it, and it's done really well. Then we have episodes 2 and 3, which kind of slows down, especially on episode 3, where Gesicht, I guess, temporarily retired from this serial murder case because he thought that it's solved. And at that moment, Adam's storyline is more interesting than Gesicht's storyline. So Adam joined the story on episode 2 when the serial murders also started taking place in Japan, and Adam also joined in the investigation, and Adam's storyline is more interesting. So there's a bit of an imbalance. Another thing is it's got the mystery, but it's not as mysterious as it feels. But rather it continues to expand the world slowly. Like we have Uran, who is Adam's sister, running into a stranger who looks like Dr. Tenma in Monster, which is pretty interesting. Like Urasawa Naoki likes using the same figures, using the same character appearances in other mangas, sort of like using the same actors for a different movie, and he sort of does that here. So this is the Dr. Tenma from Monster playing a stranger in Pluto, who is a robot who has wiped out, who has his memories all erased and wiped out, but the only thing he knows how to do is to draw a field of flowers and create life, which is really weird, kind of misleading. And then we have the real Dr. Tenma, because apparently Astro Boy, aka Adam's creator, is Dr. Tenma. And Dr. Tenma I haven't seen the original Astro Boy, but Dr. Tenma was originally, I guess, this weird doctor who is sort of this cold, unloving father figure, a la Shinji's father. And then in the 2003 version of Astro Boy, Dr. Tenma straight up became the villain. He became the antagonist. But Urasawa Naoki's rendition of Dr. Tenma is even more intricate, because on the surface he is cold and unloving and villainous, but in the inside he's actually someone who has difficulty moving on from his past. Like, there's so much more depth to him than usual, which is really cool. Another thing is that the story dives a lot into geopolitics and warfare. Again, not only is AI, the theme of AI being explored in this show, but also the theme of war. Is it okay to destroy civilians and innocent people just in the name of ending an evil government or an evil organization? And wow, this hits really hard right now in the year 2023. This message, this question that is being imposed in Pluto is more relevant now than ever. And the fact that this came out in 2003, this manga came out in 2003, is just crazy. So it is something that still persists. So there's that. And then it's crazy. It's really respectable that Urasawa Naoki doesn't shy away from politics, because the story of Pluto goes multinational. We jump from Germany and the Netherlands to Japan. We have the USA, who calls himself the UST, the United States of Thracia, and then we have Persia, which is Iran, but it calls itself Persia. So it's very multinational, it's very interesting. Then we have episode 4 onwards, and honestly, it's masterpiece after masterpiece. We have Adolf's story, which is kind of a detour. It feels like a detour, and it's not subtle at all that this character's named is Adolf, but Adolf is a guy who wants to kill Gesicht because he wants to avenge his brother's death. And Gesicht killed his brother. Minor spoiler alert. But that's weird, because robots are programmed to not kill people. So again, there's that weird robot malfunction idea. Like, what if there's more than what they are programmed to do? What if there's a consciousness? What if a soul exists even in robots? What if you don't need to be a biological organism in order to have a soul? Themes like this are explored really well. But back to Adolf. This arc, while it felt like a detour with all the secret organizations and all that stuff, but this story arc ends in one of the most emotionally complex plot points, where Adolf is stuck between hatred for robots versus what he realized to be real love and real kindness and real compassion. And then Other great scenes include Udan, Adam's sister, talking someone out of committing suicide. That scene basically adds nothing to the overall plot, but this scene exists just to show that a robot is capable of love and kindness, but also B, what a robot can say about the meaning of life and the meaning to continue living. And it's again so interesting, so emotional as well. And then we have episode 5 and 6, where Gesek progressively gets more and more human throughout the story. One of the small issues people may have with Gesek is that he's a very cold-blooded character, that he doesn't really have a lot of interesting backstory, but that's intentional because he gains character throughout Pluto. He just gets more and more human. He starts to learn how to be kind. He starts to learn how to be empathetic. He sees a robot child trying to sell flowers, and he's like, I'm in a hurry, I'm not going to buy those flowers. But at the end, he did buy those flowers. And that's, again, another scene that on the surface may not add up to anything, but really to me it adds a lot. There's another scene at the end of, I believe, episode 6 that involves crying. I'm not going to talk too much about it because of spoilers, but wow, this scene is masterfully written. It is I don't think any other writer in any other story can write a scene like this and still make sense and still be emotionally powerful. Now we have the episode finale, which just topped everything off, in my opinion. There's an epic battle that concerns the safety of the entire world, and even so, it's still a battle between hatred and love. Two robots that represent two different ideologies, love and hatred. And it gets so down to these two themes. It gets so fundamental, yet at the same time so big, so huge, so important. I love it when stories do that. I love it when stories feel really big, but can also do small and simple at the same time. And the climax is just perfect like that. And it's just crazy how Urasawa Naoki reinvents Pluto's character and put it under the context of geopolitics and war and national trauma. At the end of the day, a lot of characters in this show are morally gray. Like, you start off learning that they are villains, that they do very villainous things, but then you see their perspective and you're like, okay, it's actually a lot more complicated than that. Like, in the context of what they have gone through and what they have seen, maybe it's different. And it's so intricate, and the ending just blew my mind. When the end credits rolled, I just sat on my chair just shocked. I didn't even leave the end credits. It had to keep rolling. So yeah, wow. This is what Westworld wants to be, and 200 times better. This is mind-blowing. This is actually mind-blowing. I have no words, and this is one of the best animes I've ever seen. I am giving Pluto strong 9 out of 10. Maybe even a 10 out of 10, but I also don't want to be giving 10s left and right, but this is a strong 9 for me. This goes neck and neck with Vinland Saga, competing to be anime of the year. So, have you seen Pluto? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.